All right, guys, we're live into Lab Coat Agents, and we're about to go live into the Chime community as well. I've got my friend and co-host, Brett Baker, master Chime user, amazing real estate agent, and he also has his pilot license. So he's awesome. And then I've got our team, part of our team here, Zach Neeley and Mark Rader. You guys have been with me for about four or 5 years. I don't know, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And they're doing absolutely amazing, a lot of hard work. And we're going to go into really the processes of how they run the back end of leads and what those conversations sound like. Because we never really get to take a dive into the actual work. And I want to showcase that. Zach, can you do a quick intro of yourself and then Mark?
I'm Zach. Nice to meet everybody. I've been on the team now for, it's like 5.5 years or so. Have a service-minded background, service industry, worked at restaurants, all through college, including Cheesecake Factory, which I know ends up being a lot of people's favorite spots.
Yes.
It's exploring the ins and outs and learning a lot about people was really the biggest takeaways from the service industry background. And it made such a smooth transition for me into real estate. And no looking back. I live in California, Southern California. And for any referrals out there, I will be happy to take care of your clients.
He beat you, Mark.
That was the best plug yet on any one of these we've done. You nailed nothing back.
You're screwed.
Question for you though, before you introduce yourself.
You're done.
Zach, I have a question for you. Did you ever work with Penny at the Cheesecake Factory? Sorry, I don't know if you watch Big Bang Theory. It's like my favorite TV show ever.
Dude, all right, funny short story. I promise you it's short. I actually, one of my last days working there, at one of my shifts, she freaking walks in with a group of her friends and I'm taking care of them at the bar. Yeah,
no way.
I didn't recognize her at first. And I went over to her and I'm like, you look like the girl from the Big Bang Theory, whatever. And just talking away. And I'm like, people say I look like Will Wheaton. She didn't laugh.
Yeah.
She didn't laugh one bit, had no interest in that. She seemed really nice, but I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. And I ended up losing the table anyway. But yeah, one of my last shifts there, I took care of it. Yeah.
That's funny. You do look like Will Wheaton.
I get that from time to time.
He does. All right, Mark, give me the intro.
Hey, what's up? This is Mark. I've been working on the team with Tristan and for about 5.5 years as well. It's been a great time. It's been a real great time. We've had a lot of great memories and been plugging away and just crushing it. Also, if you have any referrals, we'd love to take them for an extra 35% referral.
Oh,
okay. All right.
That's funny. That's funny, guys. That's
well played.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. You guys have both been running online leads from the very beginning, and you've tried other sources as well, not just online. I know, Mark, you've tried RedX, and you do pretty well with it. Zach, you've tried some of the for sale by owners and expireds. But really our bread and butter has been online leads and the referrals that we get from our sphere, our past clients, and even some of those online leads, right?
Yeah.
All right. So take me through the process. I'm going to go to Mark first. Mark, take me through the process of what happens when you get an online. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Before we get into that, what do you guys do on the team?
Sell homes.
Oh, like what would you say your position is?
The master closers.
Brett, that's accurate. Brett, that is accurate.
That is accurate. We are both active members and mentors on the team. We do have a couple of mentees that we train and help provide the training basis for a lot of the CRMs that we use. But now Chime has been our big focus, right? And it's taken off. And so we really want to make sure that we help grow the team, develop the team, and that's where we're at. So we're kind of leaders on the team, if you will. That's what I like to say.
Cool.
Grooming them to also be master closers.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love it. All right, Mark, you go first, buddy. A lead comes through. I'm going to open up Chime so people can take a look at it. But a lead comes through. Take me through the process of what happens as soon as you get hit with one, because Brett and I keep on hearing that these online leads suck.
That's false. All right, here.
No bad leads, just bad follow-up.
I can give you a story of one that happened this morning.
All right,
Yeah.
go.
Make it fresh. So the new lead came in, Erica, and she actually came in and immediately requested a showing.
You know what? Let's go to Erica.
Where did she come in from?
So I hit her up personally on my personal phone. So I'll tell you how this all went down. Tristan, you want to find it? There you go. Perfect.
I found her, dude.
Did you just register today?
Just registered. So I hit her up on my personal cell. I like to do that whenever the leads come in that are this hot, because I want them to have my personal line right away.
Cool.
Like just boom, boom. Also, it shows up as blue text messages on my phone. So,
Yep.
It's a bit of camaraderie with the iPhone community. And so I hit her up. I said, hey, Erica, this is Mark and Tristan with Keller Williams Realty. We noticed you just requested a showing on 2771 Fallen in Simi Valley. When would you like to see this home? And she said, when can we see this home? I said, let me check with the sellers.
Wow.
I'll get back to you. And found out some details about the home, and now we're going to go see it. So it's simple as that.
Dude, that came in pretty quick. I didn't even see Erica come in a few minutes ago.
The master closers.
All right, so now tell me the...
Dude, that was literally like not even an hour ago.
Hey,
Yeah,
Holy crap.
That's why he was late.
You guys want like a real-time update on how the leads are. So there you go.
All right, so hold on, Mark. I have a question.
Okay.
What's happening now? Because she's viewing a ton of property. Like, are you staying in touch with her by text, by call?
Yeah,
What's happening next?
So by text, and then what I'm going to do is after we're done with our lovely panel in Chime today, I'm going to give her a call and give her the confirmation on the time and day of the showing, and kind of see what she's looking for exactly. I mean, obviously we have a pretty good example, Fallen on Simi Valley. She wants to see that, obviously, so that's a good baseline of what she wants. But then I'm going to dive in and see kind of why she chose Simi Valley. What brought her to this price range? Can she go up? Does she need to be a little bit below? What's her motivation? Why is she moving here? Does she live here already?
All right, got it. And this one came in through Ylopo AdWords, which is Google PPC.
Yep.
Also, time frame 90 days or less, which is nice to see as well.
That's what we want.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
That's awesome, man. All right, Zach, let's go to you, buddy. Well, how are you seeing the leads come in lately? Because what we're seeing is a highly competitive market in most areas, and you're seeing the multiple offer situation, and some people just coming in with a very small down that have no shot at this. What's that conversation look like at the very beginning with these online leads?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we get the information that we get, right? They fill out the little survey or little, page of brief info about their timeline, about their basics, but there's a lot of pieces missing from it. So diving into the specifics, I mean, it's not something that you can really rush into right off the bat on the phone call. You can't be like, hey, you introduce yourself, talk to them. Oh, you're looking to buy a home. Great. How much are you putting down? Like, it's not exactly the, first couple of questions that you find out, but you got to build their trust within that first 2 minutes, maybe even less of the conversation. So they know that you're not just some random salesperson calling on the phone, which to them, we pretty much are, right? But learning about what their strength and buying power really is in the market is a super pivotal piece in this market, especially, and making sure that they're qualified. There's people that'll come through and they're not all the perfect slam dunks like Erica over here that Mark just got ends up being. They're like, they registered, they want to see a home, they're ready to go, and they, and knowing Mark's ability, they're gonna buy the first home they look at and so Mark has this beautiful way of setting these things up where he really gets into the deep pieces of what these people are looking for, and that's what we all try to do, myself included, where we really want to vet and see, hey, what's the demand going to look like in this market based upon your price point and what you're looking for, and finding out, what their abilities are, explaining them a little bit on the competitive nature of things and how really we can't sit and wait a few days to think if we want to go see a home. We have to really drop what we're doing.
Talk to me about Elizabeth, who came in. I noticed that you hit her up. Take me through that process because I see notes up here as well. It says now you added notes.
Yeah.
Right?
So she owns this Mexican food truck that
Now we're talking.
Yeah, dude, I definitely picked the brain about that. She just started this business back in November, and it's really starting to take off. She works multiple jobs. She's in an area that, she doesn't like. She doesn't feel safe, and she wants to move to a better area. And so we discussed the options on qualifications, pre-approval. She doesn't have a pre-approval yet. She got pre-approved, I think right before COVID, she mentioned, at 450 by herself. And she's like, I understand that doesn't buy, it doesn't really get me too much in the areas I want. She's most interested in Moore Park. And so the conversation kind of started with explaining the areas to her and her understanding on what the market looks like. She's hoping for a $550,000, single family home in Moore Park. She said 4 bedrooms is what she wants. And I had to educate her on what's available in the market, what that really looks like right now. And essentially the conversation turned into, we need to make sure that you're set up and ready to make a move so that, we're not looking at homes that you just can't afford. And also we're not looking at homes where you can't physically do anything because you don't have a pre-approval yet. So this was one of those logical next steps kind of clients where we're on probably a 6-month time frame at most, right? Because she wants to move in yesterday, but she's not there yet with her pre-approval. So I do have her set up, and the call was only 31 seconds here because it didn't go through. And then she called me back on my personal, and that's it. So sadly, I don't have a recording of our call.
Did she respond to your text, or did she just call you right back?
I called, I sent a text, and then she called me back after I sent the, is this Elizabeth text?
Right here. Got
it. It sparked that like, wait, who are you kind of thing. So when I answered, she was like, I think I missed a call from this number. Who are you? And I explained to her, that I was calling based upon X, Y, and Z. Are you looking for home in the Moore Park area? I don't dive into a lot of long intros. I get to the point really quickly because in this business with online leads, we get hung up on while we're in the middle of introducing who the heck we are. And so why not just say, look, I'm Zach with Keller Williams. I'm calling to see, and you have like a subtle pause there. I'm calling to see, are you looking for a new home in the Moore Park area? That's it. Instead of like, you were on my website, you registered, you were looking for the X, Y, and Z. This is the home address. When do you want to see it? Well, half the time people will click, hang up, done. And sure, maybe that means they're not the right lead anyway. But my whole intention is to get some piece of information out of them on every single call. And so if you can get one thing, what's the most important thing? Are you looking for a home? Are you looking for a home? Or are you just, window shopping? So that was the conversation. She's getting connected with my lender on Thursday. She's gonna have a conversation with them to understand the pre-approval. And she's mentioned she has to do some credit repair. So we do get wide ranges of clients that'll register. They're requesting a showing right away, right? And they want to go see homes and they're approved and ready to go. I've had a couple of those as well. And then other ones, we've got to work on them a little bit, whether it's 3 months or 6 months to put them in that position where we can go out and start buying homes. So with her, pre-approval is the next step. That's Thursday. I'm following up with her again, I think on Monday, because she said she wanted to get some things organized. I don't remember if I put Monday or Friday, but that's the idea. So logical next step is talk to a lender, get that conversation done. And then hopefully after that conversation happens, I can speak to my lender and say, hey, what do they look like? What's their qualifications? What can we look for? Because then we're not wasting time. I don't want to waste time, and I want to leverage the CRM as much as I can, as well as the lender and all the people around me to do that work to make sure that, hey, this client's ready to go. Let's go out and start looking at homes. Because that's where the money really is at, is us showing the clients properties and submitting the offers. And it all comes from our lead generating. So
I love that. All right.
Long answer, I know, but that's my
that's
take.
A great answer. I love that. You give a really long answer for something really, really in depth and short that you do at the very beginning that can engage people quickly. Because so often when we jump on the phone, we forget that they're going to let us know what they want. If we're just short and to the point, we don't give them all these options and talk their ear off, right? So great point, man. I love that. So can you take me, I'm going to go to you, Zach, first, and then I'll go to Mark. And then Brett, any questions you have, throw them in there, buddy.
Got a few.
All right, shoot. You go first then.
Either one of you guys, how do you feel that buyers are right now as far as knowing the market and knowing what's happening in the market, having a general understanding? So the leads are coming in, and it looks like from what I'm seeing, a lot of PPC leads. So the leads that are coming in, do they have a pretty good idea of what the market's like already, or are you having to educate them on how insane the Southern California market is right now?
I can jump in if you don't mind.
Mark,
go for it.
So I'm actually seeing a lot of online leads talking to me about how they know the market is so hot. Some of them actually need to sell as well. Some of these online leads need to sell in order to buy, and they really know. I'm not really seeing many online leads not understanding how the market is. Now, I won't say there's none, because there are some that are kind of clueless about it, But I do think that, with it being on the news and it's such public knowledge about, and there's like, memes and TikTok videos about how like jokes about how the market is, like how it's so crazy. I feel like that's really helped the consumers understand and kind of grasp like how hot of a market we're in right now. That's what I'm noticing personally.
I want to go a little bit deeper than that too. What I want to go is, okay, so they know it's a hot market. They know things are moving quickly. How are you taking in those first few moments that you have with them and strategizing with them and getting them to trust you to get to choose you as the agent? And basically we all know, especially in Southern California, like everybody and their brother is a real estate agent in California. I mean, literally I can throw a dart and hit a real estate agent in Southern California.
Yeah.
But how are you differentiating yourself? I mean, we're talking a cold lead. This is a lead that clicked on an ad and got you reaching out to them. How are you helping them navigate this market and having them trust you right off the gate?
Right. So for me personally, what I do is I take the approach of like the easygoing with the client, but aggressive for them to the other side. Easygoing, but aggressive for them. Not aggressive towards them, but aggressive for them.
Right.
And my main goal is to get in front of them face to face and show them a home. That's my main goal. And then from there, they say, hey, how much do you think this house will go for? How much do you need to offer for? And I said, okay, now let's open up the can of worms, because they've met me. They've seen my energy. We've shared each other's connection. And now I can kick it up in full gear and show them like what it's all about.
Everybody gave me crap for that, by the way, way back when I say way back when, like, 3 or 4 years ago. I loved meeting with people. And that was like my number one goal was I don't want to talk to you on the phone. I want to meet with you in person. I don't care if we're grabbing a Starbucks, a beer, a burger. It doesn't matter. If we're meeting at the house, I don't care. Because statistically, the highest form of trust is face-to-face. Even in our crazy pandemic, it's the highest form of trust is face-to-face. And if I can get someone face-to-face with them, they're only using me. Once we've like, fist bumped or shake hands or whatever you do nowadays, they're not going with anybody else, because statistically, most people are going to use the first person they meet in person.
Absolutely. So, I completely agree with that.
I love it.
So that's what I do. That's what I try to do before on the phone. Obviously, there's lots of questions to vet and to dig deep, but the real like magic, the real pizzazz or whatever you want to say, is face to face.
Yep. And Tristan, I can see Tristan face to face with people too. He's a friendly guy on these Zoom calls, but I think he's probably way friendlier in person.
I'm terrible. I beat Zach and Mark to death almost.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
He's vicious, man.
As he drinks his green smoothie.
It's the best. It's the best. All right, guys. So I have a question for you now. So let's talk about the follow-up, because that's where a lot of the challenges for us and for agents in general happen. And Brett's amazing at automating the follow-up, and that's part of why he's been so successful. So chime in on any of the questions here that I have or their responses, Brett. But Mark, how's your follow-up, man? When you get these incoming leads and you talk to them, you're amazing at jumping on quickly, but how do you stay on top of them over a month, 2 months, 3 months?
Right. A lot of that is from questions. Like, let's say, for example, it's someone like Erica that's ready to go in 90 days and wants to see homes. I have a reminder for her every single day. Like, if the day is over and I reach out to her, I have a reminder for her tomorrow. And whether that be to send her homes, to call her, even if I don't have to reach out to her, she'll still be on the next day. And then
really
comes and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit her up the day after that, just so that she never gets lost. At the very most, maybe 2 days in advance, but it's always 24 to 48 hours in advance. Now, with someone who's more of a slow burn lead, let's say it's someone, for example, that's 2 months out, 3 months out, 4 months out. What I'll do is I'll have them, and let's say they said, hey, I want you just to send me homes. I say, okay. So I'll send them homes typically every single week. On the same day, every single week, I'll be sending them homes and messaging them saying, hey, Tristan, here's a list of 15 different properties that I found for you that I think you might like. Please let me know what you think. Would love to show these to you, even if you're not ready yet, or if you are, more than happy to show them to you. And then every now and then jump on the phone with them and just say, hi, how you doing? Wanted to kind of connect and see what's going on. I've been sending you properties, but wanted, just stay insight and in mind. And one thing I want to say as well, for leads who need you to take a back seat and they want to kind of discover on their own, because we've all had those. One thing that I like to say that's very important that I've gotten a lot of great responses on is, I'm not going to hound you. I'm not going to bother you. But I would like to reach out to you every now and then to stay insight and in mind, because I know life gets busy. And people love that.
Yep, that's awesome. Here, I'm gonna touch on follow-up here, Tristan. I don't do this very often, but I'm gonna give you my follow-up because I love follow-up. I think follow-up's like, if we go, so I love automation, and I like that Chime has a lot of automation in it. And Adam Frank has actually found a way to actually automate all of my smart plans, which has been a dream. But back when I didn't have that, and back when I was doing this manually, what I found that I love to do is, the first thing I always said to people is, when I got them on the phone, was, hey, before we get too far into this, first of all, I'm Brett. Here's who I work with, and I just want you to know that I don't want to send you spam. That was like the first words out of my mouth. Is like, I don't want to send you spam. And the person be like, huh? Be like, look, here's the deal. You're going to probably be registered on other people's websites. I get that. They're probably going to send you their lemon meringue pie recipe, their pumpkin pie recipe, how to carve a pumpkin, crap like that. I'm not that guy. If you want houses sent to you that are relevant to what you're looking for, I'm that guy. So I'm only going to send you stuff that are relevant to what you're looking for. If it's not relevant, I want to know about it, and I'm going to stop sending you that. And they'd be like, wow, that's different. It's like, look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. I'm going to tell you exactly how I work. And that's who I am. And so you can always expect an honest, no bullshit answer out of me. And they'd be like, wow. And that's how I got a lot of clients. But then you move forward and you go, okay, well, you start looking at the follow-up. The way that I look at it, if a person is ready in 30 days or less, and they are pre-approved and they're ready to rock and roll, they're in my hot category. Hot gets followed up with once a week at a bare minimum, and it is only done over the phone. No email, no text, none of that crap. It's all done on the phone. The reason is they are my most valuable client at that point, because they're ready to pull the trigger. After, let's say that they're 31 to 60 days away, they're in my warm category. They get a phone call from me every other week. They get a lot more text, but it's usually automated. I'll use Chimes automation, or I'd use something like Sly Broadcast and drop them a voicemail. They're going to get more of that from me than they are from anything out of my own time. My time is very valuable. Cold, 61 to 90 days, they might get a phone call from me about once a month. Otherwise, it's all automated. Now, it looks like I'm doing all the work for it, but for the most part, it's literally automated texting, automated Sly Broadcast, because I don't have the time to get on the phone with someone that's 90 days out and trying to figure stuff out for them. I'm letting them self-discover. After that, there's what I call cold. And if you're 90 plus, 91 plus days, all you get from me is automation and drips. And when I say drips, all you're getting from me in that regard is properties. And I always go back to properties, because I think the most valuable thing you can send someone is properties. I get asked a lot, how do you beat Zillow? Like, how does one beat Zillow? Well, if you look at it and you go, how does one beat Zillow? Well, Zillow never sends a lemon meringue pie recipe. Zillow only sends the stuff that they signed up for. So if you go on Zillow's website and you start looking at homes, they're like, hey, you want to register? You're like, yeah, I kind of do. Show me some stuff. You're not going to get like a, hey, check my lender out. Hey, did you know this? Hey, did you blah, 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 blah. You don't get that. All you get is properties. And so the person wants to come back to the website. So we all use Chime. Tristan, you guys use Ylopo for some lead generation and stuff. I like Chime Dare ads. They're kind of my thing. If I can keep getting the person back to the website, even if they're 100 days out, if they keep coming back to the website, they're going to keep getting retargeted to by Chime's Dare ads. Every time they see more, it's top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. So we all have different ways of doing it. And Zach, I want to hear your way of doing it too, because I've heard Mark's way. I want to hear your way of doing it too, because I think we all have the same ideas. We all just execute differently. Because I'll be honest with you, man. If I had a notification every day to like reach out to someone, I'd lose my mind. Not to mention, I'd just look at it and be like, yeah, that shit again. Okay, yeah, I'm over it. And it would just start skipping out of my mind. So, Zach, how do you do it?
So my timelines and timeframes are slightly longer than yours are, right? I love the aggressive approach on 30 days. That's who you're talking to regularly. That's the best way to prioritize your best leads. All of our like hot leads and things like that are people that are telling us they're ready within 3 months. Ready right now is great, but 3 months and less to me is a hot lead, because generally speaking, that's cut in half. Like they think 3 months, it's a month and a half. And I take on the task of what do I do to get them to 1 month? How aggressive can we be with finding the right home, the perfect home for them? And in this crazy freaking market with no inventory, it takes a lot of creativity in, really leveraging those networks that we have with other realtors we've worked with, seeing what they have coming soon. Hey, I've got this property coming up, or utilizing the coming soon feature on our MLS is really helpful. A lot of realtors don't even do that, which is insane to me. So with my hot clients, I'm following up with them once a week. And I'm pretty much talking to them regularly, because we're usually really engaged with sending properties back and forth and exploring. Nowadays, with everybody, having properties at their fingertips, the value that us realtors really hold is our ability to get them into escrow and to negotiate through that whole process. And so I firm up with them the fact that I'm an experienced realtor in this crazy market. And, you don't want a realtor that's just going to let you into open the doors, even though that might seem like what I'm doing initially. You want a realtor that's really going to find the off-market properties and find these places that are coming soon, get them some sort of an advantage. And if nothing else, have a great relationship with the listing agent. The listing agent then will fight for you whenever they're looking through all these offers. So big piece of my business is also building those relationships of the realtors locally. That's a piece that's often overlooked in our market. With the follow-up procedures though, anybody that's within 3 months, I have a follow-up with them once a week, and that's combined or compounded with properties being sent to them automatically through the system. My A buyers, my clients that are like ready to go, if the right property comes along, those are the ones that I'm specifically searching for, on top of the system, the Chime system already sending them properties. The other ones, the clients that are over that time frame, I'm usually contacting once every couple of weeks, if not once a month. I also focus on some long-term nurture clients too. People that are like, yeah, I'm 6 months out, but they have a really high budget, or they're ready to purchase something and they're active. So I'll focus on the people that are 6 months to 9 months out as well, at a once a month follow-up. And that's, sometimes it's just a text. Sometimes it's not even a call, because I don't have a whole lot of time, like you said, to spend on the priorities that are way far out. We've got this pipeline that we've built, and we want to prioritize our clients now, because this market's insane. So I communicate with my clients regularly that are the A clients, that are the ones that are the 3 months and below. But generally speaking, ones that are 3 months and below, most of them are about a month and a half out, a month out. Like we'll go, and I had a client that thought it was going to take a year to find a property, and we closed escrow on her in 2 months. So
that's awesome.
She was new to the area, and exploring areas, and we found the perfect home for her. So it doesn't work like that with every client, but follow-up is key. And as we get more and more busy with showings and going out and showing our clients properties, the follow-up times that we have during the day become less and less. And we're mitigating all the pieces with the escrow and making sure when we have 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 escrows at the same time, we got our transaction coordinator to lean on for that, but we got to make sure our clients are communicated with and know what's coming up next. So the balance then comes in with, okay, we do all this lead generating. How do we prevent this up and down roller coaster from happening? Like it happens in the beginning of most realtors' experiences. And actually, for a lot of seasoned agents, they experience the up and down roller coasters because they might be too busy, or they don't do their lead follow-up anymore, or lead generating as much as people, I guess, like ourselves do. So people that are really soon, I still keep my follow-up to once a week. But the clients that are really active, I'm communicating with them every day anyway, and I don't really need reminders set for me to follow up with them every day. But the ones that I'm just meeting, I'll usually set a reminder every 2 days to kind of do something with, as far as send properties, or talk to this lender, or make sure they're connected with this person, just to give that communication in there, because you got to build that regular trust and conversation with them initially. So that, they just met us online. Like, why are they, like you said, everybody has a friend, a cousin, a nephew, somebody that's a realtor. Why do they want to go with us? And some lines I like to put in there are just some pieces that really set the tone and tell them like, I'm not a bullshitter, you know? And I ask them questions. A lot of times when it's first time buyers, they don't even know where the commission's coming from. They think they're paying the realtor that's representing them the commission. And they don't understand that as a buyer, you don't pay a commission to a realtor. And like little things like that they don't understand. Also recommending that they talk to multiple lenders, get the best options. You know, lenders are like a car dealership in some regard. Like you got to go to one dealership and get a price for a car, and you go to another dealership and you say, hey, can you beat this price? And I always tell people that kind of analogy. You got to, you know, make sure you talk with a couple lenders and get the best price, because they'll compete for your business. Little things like that build so much trust in the clients. They're like, wow, no one's ever told me that before, or nobody's ever explained that to me before. And I like to get into that in the first conversation if I can, to let them know, hey, we need to get you with a lender. I'll get you set up with two. Do you already have one you've talked with? You know, and it just kind of opens up that conversation. But realistically, the follow-up, it can't, like for me, I can't do it every day. I don't have the time. And I've found myself in scenarios where I had to learn that process. And all of a sudden I've got 50 past due tasks. And I'm like, shit, Tristan's going to smack me if he finds that I got 50 tasks that I haven't done yet. Right. And so like, you got to follow that balance. You don't need to follow up with somebody every single day, because you're going to be in direct communication with them, the hot buyers. But once a week, I feel like is really constructive, as well as them getting the property sent to them on a regular basis. Yeah. And I leverage I leverage the systems. Like sorry to interrupt, but like there's a lot of times where I'm looking and I'm like, shit, I haven't looked for one property for this client, because the system's sending them all the properties and they're sending them to me, and I do the research on them and like set up the appointments, say, hey, we're going to this property, this property, this property. Great. The system sent them those properties. I haven't sent one email with properties to people, but obviously with Chime, that's the understanding, right? And that's really what we want. We want it to be seamless, so they think we're doing all these pieces. Now, I will say one thing, the tough part and things that I always kind of forget is to stop the drip sending the homes once we're already closed on the property to the people and saying, hey, I found these properties that you're really going to love. They're like, hey, Zach, why'd you send me this?
Are you feeling okay, Zach?
Yeah. So that's something that I got to put as a reminder at the end of the escrow. Yep. Stop the drip.
Yep.
So
I have one more little touch of follow-up here for you. I know Tristan's like, cut it off. Yeah, we do need a part two, buddy. We need a part two. But here's one more little thing of follow-up that most agents aren't using and should be using right now. And it's following up with the other agent in the transaction. And I know that everybody's like, Brett, come on, that's part of the transaction. Yeah, but at the end of it, I don't just ask for a review from the client. I asked for a review from the other agent. And right now, when you look at how competitive things are, one way that you can win in this market is by having a ton of reviews from other agents that you've worked with in the past and sending those over to the listing agent as well. So you have a buyer, you send over your reviews to say, here's what it's like working with me. And one way that I have found to do that is video works so well. Just like, hey, do you mind cutting like a 30-second video of what it was like working with me? And then you literally send that over with your offer. And so that's what it's like to work with me. So that's one little, I try to give a nugget in every one of these. So there's my little nugget for the day. So now, Tristan, you can kill it.
That was a good nugget, guys. I like that. All right. So Brett, great job. Let's do a part two, guys. Zach, Mark.
Yes. Let's do it.
Let's do a happy face picture here. Just for Mark, because I know Mark needs one. All right. Ready? 1, 2, smile. There we go, guys. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right, guys. Later.
Thanks.